Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah, the site of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional. I'm Ted Ramey alongside Justin Judkins, and we get set now for the individual competition, the men's competition, and we're going to start out, Justin, with a test of endurance, but not just that, but this is a competition that we've previously seen at the Games.
It really is. This is the first time in regional history where we will see athletes take on an event that athletes did at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games. So I'm going to be interested to compare numbers between the athletes' finishes here today and the finishes from 2014. And you mentioned it is a test of fitness here. That's what this entire weekend is all about. We're starting out the gates here on the individual side, testing their endurance. This is one of the longer events that you'll see. In fact, up until this point at the regionals, the longest event has been a 26-minute event. Here today, the time cap on event number 1 is 49 minutes. So they're going to start in on a 3,000 meter row. Then they've got to complete 300 double unders where they jump that rope. It's going to go under their body twice for every jump. Then it's a 3-mile run. And it's a little tricky. It's just a little bit different from the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games because the run will be performed on the Air Assault runner, where at the Games, they actually did it on the road.
30 seconds after this, let's go. 30 seconds.
And as we get set here for event number 1 for the individuals, we'll take a look at the lane assignments. And again, with one like this, Justin, everybody's going to be able to see everybody. They're going to see who's already up there on the runners. They're going to see who's leaving the rowers. They're going to see who's making their way to the double unders. So everyone will get a good view of everyone else.
Well, it is a little bit trickier because, you know, at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games, I'm going to keep referring back to that, but they were running on the road. It was easy to look to see where your competitors were, where your competition was.
Well, the individual competition for the men is underway at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional. And immediately we see some competitors having a little bit of trouble getting their row going, maybe a little bit of jitters right off the bat, Justin.
Yeah, and it's a long event. Those little jitters right at the beginning, not a big deal, but get settled in, get the mindset ready for a really long event. And I got to tell you, like, these athletes have practiced this event. It was announced over a week ago, so they've been working hard, and I guarantee each of them knows their split times. What rate do they need to row to come off that rower and finish well?
49-minute cap with this one, so we will watch them settle in as everyone finds their individual pacing. Really just has to sit down and earn this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a buy-in here. This event is really all about that run. So this first portion, if you've ever rowed very much, you know that you could crush a row, right? And it will deplete your energy stores rather quickly. And then you're at a deficit for the other 2 movements that are coming up later on in this event. Or you can pace yourself really well. You see, like, that's a pretty good pace. 1:44, that's for 500 meters on a rower, right? And if you keep that pace, you'll come off of it with a pretty decent time, but you haven't taxed yourself all that much. Not for these athletes. Now, if you really row hard and go, you know, a 1:37 or a 1:35 pace and just crush the 3,000 meter row, you'll come on, you won't have any energy left for those double unders, and especially not for the run, which I think is the most important portion of this event.
Now, one thing to pay attention to, Justin, when we'll be showing these monitors here on the Concept 2 rowers, it's counting down the meters from 3,000, so we'll be going back to that repeatedly.
Yeah, excellent point. So his pace is a 1:54 pace, 1:55 pace, which is, like I say, you know, he's going to come off the rower. We saw a 1:44 a second ago. He'll come off the rower, you know, 30, 40, 50 seconds later than the guy that was rowing at a 1:44, but not a huge deal in an event that's going to take 38 to 40 minutes.
All right, let's take a closer look at the action and throw it down to the floor with Mike Arsenault. Mike?
Guys, you've mentioned that this is an endurance test, a 49-minute time cap, so this will come down to cardiovascular ability. And here in Salt Lake City, as I mentioned during the team competition, we're 4,300 feet above sea level, or 1,300 meters. So athletes that aren't acclimated to the level of altitude, if they go out too hard on the rower and then too hard on the double unders, if they lose their breath, they're not going to be able to get it back. I talked to a number of athletes. Some have actually been here for a week or two in advance to get themselves used to the elevation. Other athletes have just shown up yesterday, so we'll see if that plays a factor here in event number 1.
Thank you, Mike. Again, 3:30 gone by, a 49-minute cap. These athletes are just at the onset of what is sure to be hurting very much some 20 minutes from now. In terms of the chase, let's take a look at the event record. And again, that is 35:25:02 that was set at the Europe Regional.
Who said that one?
I'll let you go at that, Justin.
I was waiting for you. I noticed you didn't dive into that name. But yeah, that's a great time. A lot of the times from the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games, you know, they were coming in 38 minutes, 39 minutes, 45 minutes on that event. So 35:25 is really fast, because I think that the air assault runner, the 3 miles on that, will actually take longer than it will a regular run out on the road. Not to mention, just like Mike just said, we're at elevation.
I've got my eyes on some of these monitors in lane 20. We've got 1,800 meters remaining, 1,700 to go for lane number 19.
In fact, I think a lot of the smarter teams that came here early didn't just come here to Salt Lake City and train at 4,300 feet in elevation. A lot of them went up to, like, say, Park City, some of the surrounding areas that are actually a little bit higher in elevation, to train there, so that when they came to this competition this weekend, they were actually going down in elevation a little bit.
Over 5 minutes gone by. Event 1 for the men's individual competition, Heat 1. A true test of endurance, starting out with a 3,000-meter row.
And, you know, the row is all about the pole. And the longer the length of pole, the better, but you really want to start that movement by driving the hips back, a little bit like a deadlift in form, so to speak. The strength of that pole is coming from, you know, your hip drive, extending those legs and then pulling in. You'll see a lot of them will just kind of actively recover on the catch or on the reverse.
Well, that's Thatcher Taylor in lane 19 in the white top. He has just made it past the halfway point here of the 3,000-meter row. Justin, anything in particular you've seen about his style that's allowing him to be past that halfway point already?
Yeah, definitely. He's got a really strong pull and a nice recovery on the way back in. So you'll see him actually pause for a sec, rest on his knees. He's just recovering a little bit because, like I said, it's all about that length of pull, but also more particularly about the power of the pull. So he's conserving a little bit of energy and relaxed on the rower as he's returning the chain.
In lane 14, that's Nicholas Hecht right now we're taking a look at. He's only got about 1,100 left to go there, so that is him in the black top there again in lane 14. So he is starting to eat up chunks there on the rower.
A lot of the taller athletes will actually have an advantage on a rower simply because of that length of pull over a shorter athlete.
Taylor with 1,000 meters to go.
It's good to see that. I mean, I don't really see any athletes that are just like going like gangbusters on the rower. They've tested this event. They know that they need to conserve a little bit of energy here, that they can deplete those energy stores if they go out too hot. And so they're staying nice and relaxed. They're keeping it with a good pace, you know, a minute 44 to a minute 55 for every 500 meters. They're getting the work done. They know that their money on this event is really going to be made up on that air assault runner.
In lane 10, that's Babak Eskaway again, competed in his first Open this year at 20 years old, placed 250th worldwide. Oh, excuse me, that And again, we've got just about 41 minutes left on the cap.
It's kind of hard to see that monitor, but it looks like he's at about 1:47 on the pace. And then once again, that's for every 500 meters, and they've got to complete 3,000 meters. So you can do the math, you know, figure out when he's going to get off that rower approximately. But as an athlete, they're watching that monitor, they're watching that pace really, really closely because they know their split times. Hey, if I come off of the rower, you know, at 8 minutes and 47 seconds, it'll take me this long to do the double unders, and then I've got to really make up my time on that 3-mile run, on that air assault run.
Again, in lane 19 there, that is Thatcher Taylor. He was one of the athletes we noted was at the halfway point ahead of everyone else. He's in the white top with Savage written across it. Over 9 minutes gone by. And we're going to take a look at lane 1, Orion Hones. And he's got under 500 left to go. He's the shirtless one on the left of your screen.
It's interesting, he's bringing his hands and arms inside of his legs, and probably partly because he has such long legs. He's trying to get him out of the way, get those knees out of the way so he can get that handle as close to the monitor as possible because he wants that long pole.
And now he's under 350 meters, so he's getting close.
See how close he's getting to the catch there? And he's really extending as far as he can. He's got a nice powerful pole. He's got a long pole.
200 meters left to go, 10 minutes gone by. That is Orion Hones. That's back in lane 19 in the white top with Savage written across. That is Thatcher Taylor. Between those two right now on this first part, the 3,000 meter row.
Now, if you look at Thatcher there in the white shirt, he has maintained that exact same pace throughout the entire 3,000 meters. If you watch him now, he looked the exact same way at the very, very beginning of this row. So he's doing a really good job of pacing. He's doing a really good job of staying consistent.
And then in lane number 14, Nicholas Hecht coming off first. He takes it out, and then there is Orion Hones down in lane number 1. He's come out in second, and we've got other people making their way out to the double under portion as well.
Okay, they've got to complete 100 double unders, and then they'll move to the next section on the mat until they've done it 3 times. So they've got 300 double unders. And so the trick here really is to, as weird as this sounds, stay relaxed and just kind of let it be a little bit of a recovery from that row. So you want to use the little muscles in your wrists, have really quick wrists, not the big muscles, because they take a lot more oxygen, the big muscles in your shoulders and arms. So stay tight through your core, stay relaxed, let those heels just gently touch the ground, and then you're back up again. Get in rhythm, stay relaxed, stay focused, get ready for the hardest part of this event that I think, and that's going to be on the air assault runner.
Well, down there at the bottom of your screen is Orion Hones. We had him in second coming off of the rowers, as everybody has made their way out now.
You don't want to have a lot of bobbles. Sometimes you get a lot of bobbles on those double unders. You miss, 3 or 4 or 5 times. It can get in your head a little bit. Man, I gotta slow down and relax. I gotta just let the legs kind of chill out, let the hamstrings and butt relax a little bit, and you can stay nice and pace this really well as well. You don't have to rush this, but you do have to rush that run.
Nicholas Hecht in lane 14, our current leader. Shirtless, the grayish-blue trunks.
That's the second time he's dropped that handle. I guess he needs to get a little chalk.
Bottom of your screen, that is Orion Hones. We had him in second. We approach the 13-minute mark.
I think they want to wait to get a bunch of guys on.
Josh, you know, we've been doing this so long, we always assume everyone knows what's going on. These athletes, when they're jumping up.
Yeah, this event is not won on the double unders. I'll tell you that right now. But you do have to have a good time. You can't have a lot of mistakes. You can't have too many bobbles.
Again, bottom of your screen, Orion Holmes. Second right now. Lane 14. More towards the middle. Shirtless, just taking a break. Is Nicholas Hecht, our leader.
You know, and Ted, and Orion is a bigger athlete, you know, and that will pay well on that rower because he's a taller athlete, he's got a longer length of pole, he's got more power. He's doing fine on the double unders. What I'm curious to see is how he will compete against an athlete, you know, like Nicholas Hecht that we just saw on screen, who's a smaller athlete, because, I mean, if I'm a runner, I'd rather run packing, you know, 180 pounds on my body versus 210 pounds on my body.
14 minutes gone by. Men's individual competition, event number 1, heat number 1. And Nicholas Hecht is in there. He's right there in first or second. It appears that we've also got Hones down in lane number 1 who's moving up, but he is on to the runner. So he is our leader. 14:30 gone by. Let's go down to Mike on the floor for a closer look. Mike?
There are 3 keys to running on the air runner: your stride length, your foot position, and also your cadence. And it's tough to keep all those 3 things in line after rowing for 3,000 meters and 300 double unders. It takes a lot of mental focus to run 3 miles on this air runner. If we think back to 2014 at the Games, Rich Froning actually had to walk during the 3-mile run. So I'm curious to see if any athletes have to walk at any point during the next 3 miles. Justin, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is my thought. We are at altitude, and that you've already talked about that, and that will definitely play a part in this event. However, I think that a lot of these athletes are here at this regional. They know what's on the line, and that is to try to get to the games. I think for the most part, they've prepared really, really well. I'd be a little surprised to see athletes stop and actually walk on this air assault runner. Even if they just slow their pace down, it's going to be a lot better than if they actually stop. I think the adrenaline kicks in, Ted. I think it's, yeah, I mean, they're not here by accident, right? They've proven that they should be here in this field of competitors, testing their fitness, and I think that the adrenaline's going to set in and they're going to pace themselves through this run.
We're just about at the 16-minute mark. Again, there is a 49-minute cap. We're on the assault runner right now, 3-mile run.
And Mike talked about stride length, foot position, and cadence. That foot position is important because, you know, this air runner will reward you if you have really good running form, but it's going to punish you if you have terrible form. So if you're used to foot striking or really sticking your lead leg out a long ways and hitting on your heel striking, this is going to be pretty tough for you if that's all you've done and you haven't practiced on an air runner very much.
Down at the bottom of your screen, Orion Holmes. He was the first out of the double unders and on to the runner. And we have seen one chest piece moved forward, and now we're getting another one moved forward. They do that every 400 meters. So we'll look at Ramos there in lane 15. So they'll do that every 400 meters to indicate how far they've gone in the run. The athletes can keep an eye on the other athletes. It helps the broadcasters as well, right, Justin?
Yeah, definitely. That was the first thing that I was worried about when I saw that they were going to do this on the air assault runner. I was like, oh man, how are we going to tell who's in the lead? But Dave Castro and gang fixed that for us, so thank you.
In the middle of your screen there, that is Nicholas Hecht.
Nice, easy pace, controlling the breathing. You know, it's just put your head down and grind through this event. And keep in mind, Ted, this is the first of 6 different events, 6 different tests of fitness. And so I mean, gosh, you want to make a statement. You want to come out strong in this regional. You want to get up on the top of the leaderboard. But you got to keep in mind, after this event, and you're already starting to get fatigued, you still have 5 other events that you have to complete over the course of the weekend.
Over 18 minutes gone by. In 15 with the yellow trunks in the black top, that is Chance Ramos. He is our leader right now. Next to him is Nicholas Hecht, who's right up there as well.
Yeah, mentally, this is such a grind, Ted. You just kind of got to get inside your own head and just kind of check out for a minute. Just let the body do what it's used to doing. Just kind of check out mentally for a minute and just grind through it. I think if you get too wrapped up into things, it can get a little crazy for you.
We saw Ramos' chest piece get moved forward once again, so another 400 meters gone by for him.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen. Kanika sunglasses are still on, have not come off yet.
There's Ramos, our leader. His pacing right now, Justin, he looked comfortable, relatively speaking, I should say.
Yeah, he looks comfortable. He looks relaxed. He's controlling his breathing. You know, I would dare say he's probably maintained that exact same pace up until this point. So you're in the lead. You don't need to change anything. You just need to keep doing what you've been doing, you know, for the last 10 minutes.
We can compare that to Hones at the bottom of our screen. He was the first one to the bike. Again, like you alluded to, a big competitor, or excuse me, on the runner, excuse me, big competitor. And what do you think of his form right now? Because while it hasn't been the prettiest, it doesn't look to have changed too much since he got on the runner.
Well, it hasn't changed too much, but we mentioned a moment ago, right? I would rather weigh 185 pounds and run 3 miles versus 210 pounds and run 3 miles. And you're seeing that extra weight take its toll on a long endurance event like this one. Yeah, it's going to pay off, you know, on the rower where there was a lot of power involved. It's going to pay off in some of the other events later on coming up that are all about power. But right now, all that extra weight and muscle and everything else is taking its toll.
Over 20 minutes gone by, 49-minute cap. Event 1, Heat 1 for the men's individual portion of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional.
We talked about comparing this event to the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games where athletes took on the triple threes then, but they ran on the road. Now here, obviously, we're running on this Air Assault Runner, so I'm interested to compare times. You know, Rob Forte won that in 2014 with a time of 33 minutes and like 3 seconds. And right now we're at 24 minutes and 5 seconds, or 21 minutes and 7 seconds. So I'm interested to see how the times will stack up.
There's Chance Ramos there in the middle of your screen with the highlighter trunks, I'll call them, in a black top. He is our leader. Saw this chest piece get moved, so he's done another 400 meters.
Next to him in lane number 16, you see Kawika Henderson. He is walking just like Mike brought up earlier. That could be the elevation. That could be just this Air Assault Runner not being used to this implement.
As they get closer and closer to that halfway mark, Strand moving into 3rd place. There's Nick still holding on to 4th. There was somebody else advance. Match over there, closing strong.
Again in the hat there in the middle of your screen, that is Chance Ramos. He is our leader right now, Event 1, Heat 1. The men's individual competition, the 2018 South Regional, triple three. Currently in the portion of the 3-mile run on the Assault Runner.
Rodriguez in 4th position right now. 1 Ramos, 2 Sabelli, 3 Strand, 4 Rodriguez.
You know, Ted, one thing that I love about the regionals is it is a complete test of fitness, right? And we understand and we know that fitness, especially if you're going to test it, there are a lot of different components. I mean, you've got strength, you've got endurance, you've got power, speed, agility, accuracy, all of these things. what we're trying to identify with throwing these different tests at these athletes is who is the fittest, who is the most well-rounded. Yeah, it's great if you can run a 5K in, 17 minutes and 37 seconds. But how are you when it comes to a 1 rep max on a snatch, right? And what we're trying to do is identify the 5 fittest males here from the South Regional and send them to the games to compete for the title of the fittest. And so this event right now, obviously we're hitting really heavily the endurance component of fitness. So some of these athletes are going to do better on an endurance event, but not so well when it comes to the power or the strength that we're going to see later on in this competition. So it's funny to see how the strengths and weaknesses of each athlete plays into each event. But the one thing that I will guarantee you is that when the dust settles on Sunday evening and we've identified the 5 fittest athletes from the South Regional, they are going to be the ones that are the most well-rounded.
And the wide look at everyone there in the white hats, making him pretty easily identifiable. Chance Ramos, our leader, just right of center, and now he is on the center shot there. White hat, black top, neon highlighter shorts. Nicholas Hecht to his left, Kawika Henderson was right on top of him. Ryan Hones down there at the bottom of your screen.
So unless you're an endurance specialist, Ted, I don't think that coming off the rower and coming off the double unders first is necessarily the answer to winning this event.
So like you thought, this is a runner's event.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to come down to this run, and that's where the money's going to be made on event number 1 here in the South Regional. Up until this point, Ted, the longest regional event, the time cap was 26 minutes. Here we've got a time cap of 49 minutes. So almost double of the longest event that we've ever had at a regional competition.
Over 25 minutes of that 49 now gone by. You see out there, the one chess piece that has advanced the most belongs to the man in the white hat and the black top there in the center of your screen. He's got an 8:30 mile pace right now. Again, 8-minute, 30-second mile pace. And Justin, we keep on going back to him because his form has just looked easy, relaxed, and unchanging now up to this point.
Yeah, you can tell he has a lot of experience running. A lot of these athletes will actually have a running coach. And you can tell he's keeping that form even when he's starting to get a little bit tired. I mean, we're 26 minutes into this event, but yet he's still maintaining his form, which is really important. His mile time, if you break it down, is about 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the air assault runner, but I'll bet if you put him on an open road and just had him run 3 miles, I would dare say his mile time would be under 7 minutes. 7:30-ish. It's hard to say, but definitely faster than it is on an air assault runner.
We call that the Judkins pace, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maintaining that third place position here.
Those are your 1, 2, and 3s, Kiki, as these athletes approach the second mile. This is about the halfway mark.
26:30 gone by. That is Orion Hones down there in lane number 1. He was the first one to make his way to the assault runner, but now he is some 2 minutes and 30 seconds behind our leader. So we saw, even though he got there first, at this point, I won't say that it doesn't matter, but it's been made relatively irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, we said that on the outset, right? This event would be won on this run. And you can make up your money on the run, but you could put yourself in an energy deficit by going too hard on that rower or even on the double unders. And that could have been what happened here.
Again, the chess piece on the far right of your screen that's out in front of everybody else belongs to the man with the white hat, right of center in your screen. It is Chance Ramos.
I don't even think he's sweating, Ted. He hasn't even taken his shirt off. I mean, he's just nice and relaxed, out for a Sunday stroll on the air assault runner.
No signs of slowing down on Ramos.
I'll bet if you had his split times on each mile on this 3-mile run, I'll bet they're within just seconds of each other on each mile. He stayed that consistent.
28 minutes gone by, potentially 21 remain. There's our leader, Ramos. We checked in just a little bit ago. He had an 8-minute, 30-second mile pace.
You know, Ted, we don't have any male athletes here at this regional that competed in the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games and did this event. Now, on the women's side, it's a different story. We actually had 3 women that are here at this regional that did that event in 2014. So it'll be interesting to compare their times to how they did back in 2014. See if they've gotten better, see if the air assault runner makes that big of a difference.
Ramos currently has a 1-minute and 18-second lead on second place. Taking a look at the event record, 35-25-02. Did that at the Europe Regional. That's 14 minutes shy of the cap. And Sigurdur Prasterson had quite a day.
Nice job. Nicely done. I was just going to call him Sig, but
that is the monitor of Ramos right now, our leader, an 8:41 pace, so he's slowed a little bit. He's been on there for 15 minutes and now about 20 seconds. And there he is on the right of your screen, Chance Ramos.
Yeah, already half of this event he's been on the runner, and he's leading it. So you can see why we said that it would all come down to the run on this event.
30 minutes gone by.
I know I keep referring to the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games when the athletes there completed the triple threes, but I find it so interesting to compare the times. And Rob Forte won that in 2014 at 33 minutes and 3 seconds, so we're fast approaching that time.
We're going to take a look at second place now. Andrew Cifelli there in lane 18. Approaching the 31-minute mark, but he is in second now behind Chance Ramos. We had a tight shot on him a little while ago, Justin, and he's another one throughout this entire running portion. His form is pretty much maintained.
Yeah, it really has. You know, you see him nice and relaxed with the body, but maintaining that form, regulating his breathing, kind of shaking things out a little bit here, shaking things out a little bit there, but just staying nice and relaxed, just getting the work done, grinding through it.
Again, those chest pieces they're moving out there, those are moved forward every 400 meters. The one you see that's out there in the lead towards the right of your screen belongs to Chance Ramos, who currently is in the lead right now. If you take a look back at the runners, he's in there with the white hat now on the right of your screen. Again, he is our leader. Next to him is Nicholas Hecht in the blue trunks. But on the right, that is Ramos, our leader. After 32 minutes and change have gone by in this triple three with a 49-minute cap. Right now they are on the 3-mile assault run portion of this event.
We mentioned several moments ago, it's probably his early mile was right around 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And we checked in with him just a minute ago, about 15 minutes into this run, and he was running about 8 minutes and 41 seconds. So his pace has only slowed 10 seconds per mile. So he stayed pretty consistent throughout this run.
And at the bottom of your screen, that is Orion Hones, who was the first one to make it onto the runner, but has since dropped off the lead.
First and second are separated by about a minute 30 almost. Ramos is about a minute and a half on Cifelli and Rodriguez.
Cifelli and Rodriguez tied for second as Ramos, your leader.
Well, he has 0.81 miles left to go right now with 18:41 gone by for the screen of Ramos, which we're taking a look at right now. His pace has improved from 18:41 up to 18:35, now back to 18:42. So he's in a zone, 8:42 I should say. So he's in a zone right there. He's hovering in the same vicinity.
Well, and I think that's an important point to make, right? It's going to be better for you if you can just pick a pace, stay, for each mile, stay within 10, 15 seconds of each mile, and do that the entire time versus come in, jump on that runner and just take off like crazy and really use up your energy stores, or even start out too slow and have to try to make it up at the very end.
There goes Castle. But it is Ramos. All eyes on the man in the black.
Yeah, he's got to be within half a mile of finishing this event.
As he looks to finish right here, 34 minutes on that clock. Will he take down that top time?
So at this point, Justin, when he's getting close, he's going to come off that runner. He's still got to get to the finish line. Even when he gets to that 3,000 meter point, he's got to come off of the assault runner. Off the 3 mile, he's got to get his way to the finish line. What's going through his head at that point? And I think anybody who's been an assault runner, it's a little bit weird to come off and get onto real ground.
Yeah, it sure has. Have you ever been late for a flight and you've been at the airport and you've been on those walkways? You're kind of like running on the moving walkway, and then all of a sudden you got to get off on solid ground, and you're stumbling around. You kind of look weird. I think that's what you're going to see here, because yeah, it is a transition, right? They do have to get down the competition floor. They've got to get on that red finish mat. And yeah, we're pouring salt into the wound here.
35 gone by, 35 minutes of the 49-minute cap. Heat 1, event 1. And there is Chance Ramos in the black top and the white hat. He is our leader.
49 minutes on the clock as we approach the 36-minute marker.
Again, the event record was 35:25, but that's coming up on it right now.
Well, and that's a little bit of a challenge, right? We've got 2 heats today. If you're in the first heat, you don't have a time here at the South Regional to compare yourself against. And so it is an advantage to be in that second heat. And then you've got a time that you can chase. So these guys in this first heat, they just kind of got to go for broke in the later portions of this run. Try to get the fastest time that they can, obviously.
36 minutes gone by.
I would love to talk to a lot of these athletes and just see, because I know that they've all practiced this event. They've all know their split times. I'd like to see how it compared to their practice, whether the elevation did play a part, whether the being in a competition played a part. I'd really like to see how their times compared to what they did in practice.
There's Ramos again in the black top and the white hat. He is our leader.
Well, we're certainly checking the box of the endurance component of fitness. If it's an overall test of fitness, we're getting that one right out of the way early on here at the competition.
Again, Ramos just left of center in your screen. Black top, white hat, that's our leader. Over 37 minutes gone by now, 49-minute cap. Event 1, Heat 1 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional.
Yeah, look, Ted, his form here in the final portions of the run of this 3 miles, he looks pretty much just like he did at the beginning of the run. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Very much so.
To maintain that kind of form, that kind of consistency over the course of 3 miles after having done 300 double unders and rode 3,000 meters.
It's heat 1 of event 1, the triple 3, the South Regional. And the man with the white hat in the center of your screen, Chance Ramos, is in the lead. Again, Ramos, our leader, in the center of your screen. Neon highlighter, shorts, black top, white hat. He's on his last 400 meters. So he's kept that chest piece moving throughout.
And he's well under that time cap, too. I want to see how many athletes will finish under that time cap.
Which is 49 minutes, so less than 10 minutes remain.
I think he's pretty much led, you know, after that first 400 meters, I think he was in the lead on this 3 mile run. And he's maintained that lead the entire time.
Again, the man in the white hat. Just left of center on your screen. So the judge's hand is up. That means it's time for him to come off. Ramos. Heat 1, event 1. The triple 3 belongs to Chance Ramos here at the 2018 South Regional.
Wow. He didn't seem to have any problem running on solid ground after being on the air runner, did he?
None at all.
Yeah, he had quite a lead there. You can see that lead being manifest now in how long it takes for the second competitor to exit the air assault runner.
.41 minutes gone by, 49 is the cap. You see there, Bobby Rodriguez on the left of your screen has really picked up the pace.
There he goes.
And he's off.
Wow, strong finish.
He comes in second here in heat 1.
Yeah, you can see the toll that the last 41 minutes have taken on him right there.
And there is Andrew Cifelli in lane 18. He comes across in third.
God, he did a really good job as well.
And he was another one we pointed to, Justin, where we said that he just looked comfortable throughout.
Yeah, he really did. And he's an experienced competitor, so I would expect that he would have a good game plan, execute that game plan well.
Nicely done.
And again, that was Matthew Strand coming across. And as the clock, the 49-minute cap, becomes more and more of a factor.
Yeah, now not only are these athletes racing against each other, but they are racing against that clock, trying to get finished underneath that 49 minutes. And just, you know, Ted, just mentally, you don't want to get time capped as an athlete. You know, you want to start off this competition by saying, hey, I'm here, I belong, I can finish these events under a time cap, and I'm fit enough to be here and qualify for the games.
And Lance Castle comes across at about 42-41. 6 minutes remain.
Yeah, that's good. I think we're going to see most of these athletes finish under that time cap.
And here comes
And that is Richard Barrett coming across. And Kirk Ritchie comes across in lane number 4. 43.28 for him. And there's Nicholas Hecht. And that was Philip Guillot in CrossFit NOLA 504. Just over 5 minutes remain.
You know, it's interesting too because Nicholas Hecht was kind of at the beginning, at the lead in this event when they got onto the runner, but yet he didn't finish in the top 5.
Middle of your screen, that is Andrew St. Germain, lane 8.
You know, now they've got to recognize that, hey, we're within 5 minutes of that time cap. I've got other athletes, my other competitors starting to finish this event. So you'll see them start to pick up their pace.
Now Zach Anderson coming across down in lane 2. And that was Thatcher Taylor up top who came across in lane 19 just a moment ago.
It's going to be really important how these athletes, what they do between now, finishing this event, and the next event that's going to start here in a little while. What kind of recovery do they have in place to get ready for that next event?
That's Vivek Shoei coming across from CrossFit Annihilation. Under 4 minutes remain.
A little over 45 minutes in.
And that was Andrew St. Germain coming across.
Less than 4 minutes to go for these athletes.
Bottom of your screen, that was Orion Hones we saw. Coming off in lane 6, that's Dalton Mankin.
Yeah, you can see there's a bit of a transition from going from that air assault runner to the solid ground. The legs are saying, whoa, wait a minute, this thing isn't moving like it was before.
Three minutes remain. Orion Hones at the bottom of your screen. Again, he was the first one on the assault runner.
Yeah, you know, and credit to him too, because it looks like he has struggled on this run, but he hasn't stopped, he hasn't walked, he's maintained that same pace. Might have been a slower pace, but he has maintained that same pace the entire time. So hats off to Orion. Because I guarantee there's going to be events that are going to be more in his wheelhouse coming up over the course of the next 3 days where he'll kind of make his money, so to speak.
And coming off in lane 7, we've got Scott Tetzlow. He'll come across. Breaking the 47-minute mark, so with just over 2 minutes remain. And in lane 3, that's Braden Ruby. So he'll get in under the cap.
I dare say most of these guys are just happy to see this event in their rearview mirror and know that they're done with such a long event here at this competition.
And down in lane 1, we see Orion Hones. He's starting to lengthen out his strides a bit. He's racing against the clock. He wants to get this one finished.
Yeah, he is definitely close. Great job on Orion's part, I think. You could tell he wasn't super comfortable when he got on that air assault runner, yet he finished it under the time cap. Well done.
So we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining here. There's Kawika Henderson there with the sunglasses and the hat. We've seen him walk a couple of times, as up top we've got Jose Bernal coming across. 1 minute.
1 minute, 1 minute.
I'd really like to see these guys finish under that time cap.
All right, guys, here we go. 45 seconds.
40 seconds remain. And
he's
we
gonna
will
do
see
it.
O'Neal come across.
Good. Yeah, I think mentally just to finish under the time cap, even if it's only by 15 seconds, that's still a good thing. That gives you confidence going into the other events.
That is Henderson, our lone competitor left. And he'll get bit by the cap. But you can tell, Justin, just the way everybody reacts by the end of that one, that was a true test.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, anytime you've got an event that's going to take 49 minutes, that's time where you're time capped at 49 minutes, you know that, hey, that's going to tap those energy reserves. You've got to now be smart about your recovery before the next event comes up, because I'll tell you what, if you're just lollygagging around, you're visiting with family and friends, and you're enjoying the atmosphere and stuff, it'll come back to bite you later on.
And heat number 2 is underway. Right on to the Concept 2 rowers. Now, Justin, we talked a lot about last time about how this is a runner's event, but what can we take away from what we saw from the rowers last time?
Well, we saw Orion Hone. He was the first one off of the rower. He was the first one done with the double unders, and the first one onto the air assault runner. However, he was one of the last athletes to finish that event. And so, yeah, can you come out too hot in this event? For sure. And so this event is going to be won on that air assault runner. You're not going to win it on the row. So the secret to the row, or at least the key to the row, is all about the power of the pole. It's about the length of the pole. You want to stay nice and relaxed. Have almost a little bit of recovery as you take that handle back to the catch, back to the flywheel, and then pull really hard and long. But I'll tell you this, you can dig yourself a hole, an energy deficit, if you will, and burn up your energy if you go out too fast on that rower.
Again, a 49-minute cap here. Since we saw roughly an 8-minute 30 to 8-minute 40 mile time in heat number 1, do you expect to see similar in heat number 2 here?
Yeah, I mean, these are the athletes that finished a little higher in the open. We've kind of stacked the heats that way. And so I would anticipate just off of their open finishes that you'll get a little bit faster times on the mile. So I think that you'll see faster times in the second heat than you did in the first heat, for sure. Logan Collins, he won this competition, won the South Regional last year, so he's the defending, returning champion. Then went on to have that strong 11th place finish at the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games. And he's used to long events. I mean, I looked back over his competition history just to see how he fares with an endurance type event. Back in 2016 when they had that grueling trail run, he placed 27th. In Murph in 2016, he was 18th. In the run, swim, run event last year at the games, he was 17th. So I think his endurance has improved. He's a smart athlete. He attacks each event with a strategy. And so I think that you'll see him stick to a game plan here as well.
The green top at the bottom of your screen, Justin King. He was Masters competitor in Madison last year. Above him with the red beard, that was Tucker McLemore.
Roy Gamboa right there, front and center with the football on his shirt, but he is a long-time competitor. He's been to the games 3 separate times. He won this competition in the South Regional in 2016. Took a year off for a variety of different reasons. Known more for his power and his strength than his endurance. So my question for Roy in watching him in this event is, how is he going to fare with an event that is tailored more towards the endurance side of fitness versus more the strength and power side? Has he been working on that component? If so, we're going to see it here today.
We've got a close race going on back here, I tell you what. 1,900 meters remain for our top athletes.
So a lot of these athletes will be keeping their eye on their monitor. Their monitor will dictate what their 500-meter pace is. We saw a lot of those monitors in the last heat. You know, they were averaging between a minute 55 for every 500 meters and a minute 44 for every 500 meters. So they will have practiced this. They don't want to come out too hot on this rower and row too hard and get too tired from the beginning. So the nice thing about having that monitor is they can really adjust their pace if they need to based on their practice times.
All right, well, we're going to go down to Mike on the floor. He's got Chance Ramos, our winner from the previous heat. Mike?
Chance, this is your 3rd appearance at regionals, but the first time you've been asked to run 3 miles on an air runner. How did event number 1 compare to your attempts in training?
A lot harder with the elevation. I trained down in Mesquite, Nevada. It's about 1,700 feet, so just the elevation change really hurt the run a little bit, but it was good.
Let's take this piece by piece, starting with the 3,000-meter row. What was your strategy there in terms of how fast you wanted to go out?
Just pace it, about 150 row. You know, for me that's a good pace. And then doubles just smooth and fast, and then on the run just stay at a good pace and hold that the entire time.
You were telling me on about your mile run on flat ground is around 5:15, but your pace here was 8:30, 8:45, obviously due to the work that you did beforehand and the air runner. What goes through your mind when you're running for 24, 25 minutes?
You just gotta keep that pace. I think looking at that number on the treadmill really helped me, just making sure I didn't go too high as pace-wise. So you just gotta stay in the zone. Find your zone and stay there.
Were you paying attention to the other competitors all during that 3 miles?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I saw the chest pieces move. I knew where I was in relation to them. But overall, I just stayed in my lane for the most part.
So after 35, 45 minutes of hard work, what is the rest and recovery plan before we get to event number 2 coming up later this afternoon?
Yeah, just some fluids, some good food, and just get ready to hit Linda after this.
All right, well, we'll continue to watch heat number 2 here and see if your time stays. Thanks, Chance.
Hey, thank you so much.
Again, that was Chance Ramos talking with Mike down on the floor. He won heat number 1. Right now we are just about 6 minutes and 30 seconds into heat number 2 here at the 2018 South Regional. Again, this is event number 1 for the men's individual competition, triple 3. 3,000 meter row, 300 double unders, and then 3 miles on the assault runner.
Tommy Venus there, we got a quick look at his monitor, and he was rowing at about a minute 51 pace for every 500 meters. So staying right around where Chance Ramos said he tried to stay during the row.
Getting a look at the monitor of Matt Morton out there in lane 14. He's under the 1,000 meter mark as these do count down from 3,000. So he's beyond 2/3 done now.
Obviously rowing a little bit faster than Tommy Venus was, you know, about 4 seconds for every 500 meters. And that's what I mean. Like, you can go out and you can just kill yourself on that rower, but you're only going to come off 30 to 40 seconds faster than, you know, another guy. But at what cost? So a lot of them you'll see have like Tommy right there with a headband on and the American Gain shirt. Nice, strong pull. He's smooth. He's keeping that chain flat as it returns to the catch. Almost getting a little bit of recovery there as he returns that handle to the flywheel.
Again, approaching 8 minutes gone by. And we saw everybody but one competitor in heat number 1 come in under the 49-minute cap, but I don't think it's unfair to say that many of those 49 minutes are going to be used here in heat number 2 as well.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, staying right around that minute 51 pace, which is a good pace. It was the pace that allowed Chance, to win the first heat. So, you know, if you're sticking to that, you're right in pace with what the guy did that won the first heat.
Again, with the aptly labeled Venus shirts there, just in the middle of your screen, that is Tommy Venus after 9 minutes have gone by.
Yeah, I wanted to come down to Justin King, and he's one of the Masters athletes. Look at how he leans as he pulls back, and I'm not sure exactly why, other than to maybe it's just something that he does to kind of break things up, break up the monotony a little bit. Now he's pulling straight and strong. I'm not sure if he was leaning just to give one butt cheek a rest. I don't know. On a long event like this, I'm not sure. Haven't really seen that in competition very much. Now he's back to it, so.
Well, the 36-year-old from the South Central has under 500 meters left to go. Yeah, now he was almost exaggerating it now left and right now more than he was previously. Yeah. Under 300 meters now.
There for a second, it almost looked like he counted on each side. Like I'll go side to side for so many pulls, and then I'll pull straight. That's interesting. I'm going to catch up with him later and try to find out what that's all about. If he's unlocked some secret on the rower, I want to know about it.
Over 10 minutes gone by now. Many competitors under that 300-meter mark. So it looks like guys are keeping pace with each other. We just heard the floor announcers say there was under 100 meters left for Justin King. And there's Tommy Venus in the middle of your screen right now.
So you see the good rowers really driving those hips back. That's how you start the pull. Getting a little bit of active recovery, staying relaxed, active recovery on the way back in. Maybe lean a little bit, side to side. Rest it. Keep that flywheel going, though.
And
Matt Morton starting in on those double unders. Now, you know, the event is going to be won on the run. We've established that already, but it could actually be lost on the double unders. You can go too far. You can go too fast. You can get out of rhythm. You can mess up too many times, let it get into your head, and let the other competitors pass you by. So you just want to stay relaxed. You almost want to have a little bit of recovery here too. Breathe nice and deep. Keep those elbows tight. Keep your core tight. Just let your heels just lightly touch the ground and jump back up again. Stay in rhythm. Nice and smooth.
So everybody comes out with relative close proximity to the others. Is that because they realized after watching heat number one, they said, hey, if I'm a runner, I can win this on the runner. I just got to keep pace with everyone else.
Well, you just can't dig yourself. I think the smart thing is if you're coming off the rower and the double unders first, you could very well be in trouble, right? I wouldn't be worried. I'd almost tell myself ahead of time, hey, I know that other people are going to start on that air assault runner before me, but I'm going to catch them and pass them on that run. I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't let it get into my head as a competitor if other guys are finishing those double unders faster. I just want to focus and stay inside my own game, my own competition, and not mess up too many times.
Middle of your screen, that is Morton. First off the rower and onto the double unders.
Yeah, see, that's just right. He's got a good pace. He's maintaining his rhythm and keeping those elbows close. As he advances to the next section on the mat, he'll breathe nice and deep, get that rope going again, keep those breaks short. In fact, I really haven't seen him break at all. Matt Morton in the black shorts there in the lead, I haven't seen him mess up yet. You know, he took a calculated break as he advanced to the next section like we talked about. But I think he did those first 200 unbroken. Or each 100 unbroken, I should say.
At the bottom of your screen is Justin King, the Masters competitor from 2017, who was one of our early leaders on the rowing aspect. Making his way through the double unders now.
Still looking cool, calm, and collected indeed. His eyes forward. He has a little bit of a trip up. Asks his judge how many more he's got remaining, and his back to work as his judge's hand goes up in the air.
And that's Sean Sweeney in the back. Of course, we are going to be paying attention to him all throughout this competition.
Yeah, he's advancing now onto his last part of these double unders, but he barely missed qualifying for the games last year. I think it was like by 6 points. And he went to the games and qualified to the games in 2016. So having not made that return trip, I know just fueled his passion to train hard this past year.
And that is Matt Morton. He is our first out on to the assault runner. And we'll see how he settles in compared to what we saw from Ramos in the previous heat. That's Kyle Zozaya in lane 19, making his way onto the runner as well. 14:30 and change gone by.
30-second lead over the closest competitor. Here comes Luckett next to him. It is one.
And now it's just settling in. We talked to Chance Ramos, the winner of the first heat, and he said he just picked a pace. He stayed with that pace the entire time. He kept his eyes on that monitor to make sure that he wasn't going too fast or too slow. And so that's what these guys have to do as they get on this air assault runner, pick that pace based on their practice times, based on their splits, and just stay with it.
Cap is 49 minutes here for the Triple Three. Event number 1, heat number 2 at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional here at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah. And the hat has been donned by Sean Sweeney.
Signature headpiece.
That is Kyle Zozaya, just dead center in your screen with the goatee, shirtless. We're getting a look at Roy Gamboa right now, and to give us a little bit more background, let's go to Mike down on the floor. Mike?
Guys, I spoke to Roy's coach, Alex Cardenas, last night. Roy didn't compete last year throughout the game season due to his work commitments at the Fire Academy, but it may have been a blessing in disguise for his fitness as his aerobic engine is bigger this year because of his academy training. However, due to work, he was doing a test yesterday in Lubbock, Texas. He didn't land in Salt Lake City until after midnight, so he's had no opportunity to acclimate to the elevation, but his coach said due to his aerobic base, he doesn't think it will be an issue either in event 1 here or throughout the weekend.
You know, and that speaks to the experience that I think Roy has. I remember back in 2016, he was so dominant in this regional. He won it. In fact, he won it 2 years in a row. He's been to the games 3 different times, but he was always, back then, he was always known as a power and a strength athlete. You know, he's got that football shirt on. He came from a football background. They use that explosive strength. And this is not an event that I think he would have wanted to take on back in 2016. But that does speak to the experience that he has as an athlete. He recognizes his weaknesses. He recognizes, of course, his strengths. But he spent the time that he has needed to work on those weaknesses. And I think he probably did identify a hole in his game a little bit and said, hey, this is something that I've got to spend some time with. And I want to see how that pays off. And if he's done what we're talking about here.
And again, if you're just joining us, you see them moving these black blocks with the CrossFit labeling on them. Those are the chess pieces, so to speak, and those are signaled every single time competitors have completed another 400 meters of the 3-mile run.
Yeah, you see guys looking over at the other guy's monitor. That's interesting.
And right now in the middle of your screen, you see Tommy Venus. On the right is Jared Enderton.
Yeah, Tommy Venus is a strength athlete. That is his background. He did qualify for the games last year. And I'll tell you this, if you're an athlete where your strength is your power and you know that you're going to do well on those short bursts of energy and big power output events, when it comes to an event like this, you don't have to win this, right? Like, Tommy Venus doesn't have to win this event to win the regional. He just has to do pretty well here. Middle of the pack, maybe top third of the pack, because he's going to knock those other events out of the park when it comes to lifting big, heavy weights.
Well, Venus got here by way of finishing 17th worldwide in the Open. He was first in the Southwest. If you look at his Open scores across the 6 different sub-events, came in 2nd, 18th, 7th, 9th, 8th, and 2nd. And he jumped up big time from 2017, where he's 212th in the world, all the way up to 17th in 2018. So he's a guy that's obviously on the rise, Justin.
Yeah, he really is. He's come a long way. You know, any athlete, I think, that does well at regional, places top 5, and then moves on and goes to the games and comes in, places 32nd at the games like Tommy did. You know, that's just impressive as an athlete.
Venus also a strong guy. A 485-pound back squat. He's got a 370-pound clean and jerk. He's got a 550-pound deadlift. So not too shabby.
Yeah. Well, we knew that he was good in those strength numbers, but I wanted to see how he did on longer events. So I looked back at the run, swim, run event from the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games last year. He was 22nd there. So, you know, middle of the pack, right, when it came to a longer event. And if he can do that here at this regional, then he could qualify for the games again this year, because he, like I said, he's going to do well on those power events, those strong, where the strength is concerned.
It's a good pack to be in the middle of. Again, right now our leader is Matt Morton in lane 14, 28 years old. CrossFit Captivate. Over 20 minutes gone by, 49-minute cap. He was 109th worldwide in the Open this year. He was 5th in the South Central Regional, or of that region in the Open, I should say.
Yeah. And he's nice and relaxed here. And I'd love to see, oh good, 8 minutes and 27 seconds on the mile, average per mile. So it's interesting too, right? Because not all of the athletes have listed their 5K times. You know, when they run a 5K, it's going to be just on the road, outside, on solid ground. I would dare say that a lot of them are 3-4 minutes faster on the road than they are on an air assault runner. And so that minute 34, I would say would be a slower time than if he was running on solid ground.
V2 event number 1 here. The men's individual competition at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional. We're at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah. And right now, of course, we are competing the triple 3, a 3,000-meter row, 300 double unders, and right now they are on to the 3-mile run on the assault runner.
There's Logan Collins on the far right. Black shorts, no shirt. Not the largest athlete in the field. However, just a gritty athlete. You know, he won this regional last year, so he is the defending regional champion. Went on and had that great finish at the games, placing 11th at the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games. And he's just proven, Ted, I think the one thing that I could say about Logan, watching him over the last couple of years, is he's just really consistent. He's well-rounded. I don't think you're going to see him win this event, but he'll be right up there. I don't think you're going to see him win Linda, the event number 2 that's coming up later today, but I think you're going to see him right up there.
He was 8th in the Open worldwide in 2018.
He's another one I wanted to see how he did on longer events, you know, and he placed 18th on that run, swim, run event in 2017. In 2016, when they did Murph, that consists of a lot of gymnastics movements and a 2-mile run. It's a longer event. He placed 16th at the 2016 Reebok CrossFit Games, and then also at the Ranch Trail Run, that 7K run over hill and dell. He was 27th back then. So he does well on the endurance events.
So it is 1 more.
Approaching the 24-minute mark, 49-minute cap.
One more.
And the cowboy hat there. Of course, that is one Sweeney. And of course, is a crowd favorite.
Yeah, we mentioned he went to the games in 2016. He missed returning to the games last year, and I think he was just barely outside qualifying. It was like by 6 points or something. Sean Sweeney, he comes from that rodeo background, grew up rodeoing. He always brings a crowd from Fallon, Nevada. They're pretty easy to identify, I would say. Right, Ted? You can tell who's cheering for Sean Sweeney.
Actually, I'm confused.
Look for similar headgear, I would say. That'd be your first indication. And Sean is also an athlete that's known more for the strength side of things versus the long endurance type events. And so I'm interested to see how well-rounded he is going to be this year. And that really is the secret. If you want to go to the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, especially this year after having looked at all of the events, you've got to be extremely well-rounded. You can't have any real holes in your game.
As 25 minutes have gone down here, again we take a look at Sean Sweeney. And if you haven't figured it out, he is very much known for the cowboy hat. Let's go to Mike. He'll tell us a little bit more about Sean Sweeney. Mike?
Guys, I had a chance to talk to Sean Sweeney's coach last night, and Jacob Sipskin told me that obviously Sean wasn't happy about not qualifying the games in 2017, but as you can see, wearing the cowboy hat, playing to his crowd, he has a good attitude, and he used not making the games as fuel during his training this year. Their focus over the last 12 months has been building Sean's leg strength, something that could come in handy on this 3-mile run, where in their past, the focus has been on the upper body. So a little bit of a different focus for Sean Sweeney this year. We'll see if it pays off this weekend.
26 minutes and change gone by. We're keeping an eye on lane number 3. And also there's Morton right now in lane 14 in the middle. But judging by the chess pieces right now, it looks like Zachary Moran in lane number 3 is our leader. And again, if you're just joining us, those chess pieces, they move them down the lanes with each additional 400 meters completed on the 3-mile run on the assault run.
And you know, Ted, I know that it is a 3-mile run, which is obviously a longer run. Up until this point at the regionals, the longest event has been with a 26-minute time cap. Well, here today, we're extending that time cap by quite a bit, 49 minutes on the time cap. So this is the longest event that has ever been competed in a regional. So I want to see how these athletes do on the endurance side. And then also how they're going to recover between this event and the next one coming up here in a little while.
So we've got a lot of athletes now moving up to that 2,000 meter mark. Excuse me, to the next portion on there. But again, close to 28 minutes gone by.
You know, to his credit, Sean Sweeney, we said he was not really an endurance athlete or hasn't been known as that in the past, but the camera just swept past him. He looks pretty nice and relaxed.
All right, so we're getting some information that perhaps there's been an erroneous move of that chest piece in lane 3, and that Zachary Moran is not as far on as he is being shown to be, again, by way of that chest piece. So as we find out information more on that, we will keep you updated, but we're hearing there might be a discrepancy in terms of the placement.
Yeah, that's interesting because you can watch him on the air assault runner. He's in the red shorts there at the left of your screen. It doesn't look like his stride is as fast as the other strides. So, man, it'd be hard for me to say, yeah, that guy's way out in the lead. He doesn't look like he's running as fast.
Yeah, and we're hearing now that looking at his screen, he was running a 10, almost 11-minute mile. So it would indicate at this point that an error has been made. But again, we'll continue to update this. And yes, as you can see, they are walking that chest piece back.
We haven't really talked much about this air assault runner. It is more difficult than running on flat, solid ground. It will reward you if you have really good form. If you don't hill strike and you can keep your foot position under your center of gravity, it's going to reward you. However, if you have terrible form when it comes to running and you like to hill strike and stick that lead foot way out there, it's going to punish you.
So again, there in the orange shorts, reddish-orange shorts, in the middle of your screen, that was Zachary Moran, and there was an error. They moved that chest piece back to more accurately reflect how far he is into the 3-mile run. Approaching the half-hour mark, and again, there is a 49-minute cap here on the 333 event number 1, heat number 2 here of the men's individual portion of the competition at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games South Regional. There is Matt Morton, our leader right now in lane 14.
We talked about Chance Ramos in the last heat that stayed consistent with his form, consistent with his pace for the entire 3 miles, and it looks like Matt Morton is doing the exact same thing. He looks pretty much the same as he did at the beginning of this run. In fact, he was giving a double flex to his fans up in the crowd a minute ago, so he's not getting too wrapped around the axle with this event.
Under 18 minutes remain. Gamboa there at the left of your screen. And Logan Collins in 10 and Tommy Venus in 11. And then in lane 12, Jared Enderton. And towards the far right of your screen, there is Morton, who is in the lead here.
Approaching that third and final mile here on this competition floor.
You see in lane 2, the chest piece of Tucker McLemore towards the bottom of your screen got moved forward another 400 meters. And we see Alexander Jolivet seeing his moved forward as well.
Ted, this competition, obviously we mentioned this in the first heat, but it's really all about identifying the fittest athletes in the South Regional, sending them onto the games, qualifying them for the games to identify the fittest in the world. And so you're going to have a variety of different physical tests. This one right now, it's obviously an endurance test. However, coming up next, and you want to stay tuned, here's a shameless plug for the next event, but it's going to be more power, more strength. This is an athlete, Jared Enderton. He comes from a wrestling background in high school, very accomplished wrestler, but he also has done a ton of powerlifting. And so this long endurance event might not play to Jared's strengths. However, this next event coming up definitely does, and it's going to be fun to watch him attack Linda, the 3 bars of death in event number 2.
Oh, what's amazing is when he was competing in strongman, Enderton weighed over 300 pounds. Now he's down to 195.
Yeah. Getting back closer to his old wrestling weight.
Yeah, he was 116th worldwide in the Open, 2nd in the Southwest in the Open. So he came into this one ready.
Then getting his chest sleeves pulled up, but it is Morgan who advances yet again.
Spute and Sweeney in a 5 for third as Morton takes over first place.
We're seeing now that Brandon Luckett has moved up to challenge Matt Morton, and those are our two leaders there in lane 13 and 14. See Luckett there on the left of your screen. One to the right of him is Morton.
You know, we talked about the altitude possibly playing a factor in this event, and it looks like a lot of these athletes are prepared for that. I mean, obviously a 3-mile run on an air assault runner is going to take its toll anyway, but an added component of being at 4,300 feet in elevation could play a part for some of these athletes from lower elevations. So he has slowed down a little bit. He's running at about, well, 9 minutes to 8 minutes and 51 seconds for every mile. I think he was a little bit faster earlier. So he slowed down a touch.
And there is Morton on the right and Luckett on the left. Those are our two leaders right now.
So Luckett is in second, Morton is first.
So Morton just out in front of Luckett right now. Luckett just moved his chest piece right even with Morton. And I think we saw just there to the left of your screen, again, other competitors coming up as well. So we might have a closer finish this time than we did in heat number 1.
Yeah.
That is Morton, our leader, on the right. Next to him is Luckett. And we've got Enderton over there in the white tank top. And then Tommy Venus to the left of Enderton. And you can also see in the cowboy hat, Sean Sweeney.
36 minutes in.
You know, it's interesting, in that first heat, we saw Orion Hone really jump out to the lead, coming off of the rower and the double unders, but yet the run just killed them, and we haven't really seen that here. I think we've seen everybody come in, be really consistent on this run, and I haven't seen anybody really slacken their pace and really slow down dramatically.
And Morton, right there in the middle of your screen in the black trunks, he's our leader. Next to him is Luckett in second. 49-minute cap, 36, 37 gone by.
Very close to completing that particular task. As we approach 37 minutes, he's now about 3 minutes to do so.
You know, another thing too that I think is interesting, Ted, is this event was performed in the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games. We mentioned that earlier, but Rob Forte won that event at 33 minutes and 3 seconds, but they ran on solid ground, not on an air assault runner. So this is the first time that we've seen a Games event show up at a regional, and I'm interested to see how the times compare with these regional athletes here in 2018 versus the Games athletes in 2014. Are the athletes getting fitter from year to year? Are the times improving? Those are all things that I want to look at and check on. A lot of those times were, you know, right around the 37 to 38 minutes on an average back then in 2014. So we're right around that time now here at the South Regional. And another interesting thing too is none of the men here at the South Regional had qualified for the Games in 2014. So none of these athletes did this back then. However, on the women's side of the house, 3 of the women that are here today at the South Regional did qualify for the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Games, did compete in the triple threes back then. And so it's really going to be interesting to compare their times to how they did it back in 2014.
You see the chest piece of Morton there right in the middle of your screen as he approaches the close of this 3-mile run on the assault runner.
38:30.
Man, it looks like we're going to have a lot of guys finish really close to each other. It could come down to that final sprint down the competition floor.
There's Morton, our leader, in lane 14. And Luckett just to the left of him. Looks like he almost has a little bit of a hitch in his step now that he didn't have a couple of minutes ago, Justin.
Yeah, it looks like he's favoring one of those legs, and you know, it could just be fatigue set in. It could be an injury that he's maybe been battling for a little while. But you're right, his cadence has changed somewhat during this 3-mile run.
Ooh. So here comes Morton. And he will come in under the time to beat that was set by Chance Ramos. 39:40 just about. So an impressive heat victory for Morton.
Yeah, and that was an athlete that you can tell had practiced this event. He has broken down each component of this event or each different movement, and it looked like he stuck to his game plan. That was very well executed.
So we're past the 40-minute mark, and Morton does take the event there as he beat the time put forth by Chance Ramos. Keeping an eye on Luckett there in lane 13 in the middle of your screen. Enderton to the left of him in the white tank top.
Yeah, you can see a lot of guys now in the final portions of this run. They're really picking up their pace. You see some athletes looking over at the other monitor of a fellow competitor to see how they're stacking up, how close that other guy is.
Sean Sweeney in the cowboy hat.
Those are the two that I really wanted to watch. I wanted to watch Sweeney in the cowboy hat. I wanted to watch, oh, look at that. Wow. Hey, that is impressive.
So Sweeney comes across 41:06.
Okay, well, he answered that question, right? Primarily known as a power athlete, not really known for his endurance. Came in and did really well on an endurance event here in the South Regional.
Luckett comes across just about 41:20.
Ooh, we're gonna have to go to the chip timers on that one. That was close.
So that was Gamboa and Mitch Buick. So we'll have to see what the tail of the tape is there.
Oh, Gamboa had to revert to those football days as a running back to pull out a win there if he did in that foot race down the floor.
And that is Logan Collins coming across.
Yeah, much faster heat. I think there was like 1/10 of a second separating Gamboa there. He barely pulled that one out.
And that is Aragon coming across. Cap is 49 minutes.
Yeah, this heat is going at a much faster pace collectively than the first heat.
In the camo trunks, that was Alexander Jolivet there. And in lane 5, that was Vinny Casey. Just at 43 minutes. And that was Tyler Eggman coming in at 18. King on the left in lane 1, and lane 2 there's Tucker McLemore. Lane 3 is Zachary Moran, and lane 4 again Alexander Jolivet. Now it's Jorge Aragon coming across there, lane number 20.
Ted, it's interesting how many places a few seconds will make up on the leaderboard. You know, you've got that final sprint down the competition floor, and you barely place a few seconds ahead of the next guy, but yet that could mean the difference in 3 or 4 places on the leaderboard, you know, by the end of the day. Really important these guys finish strong here.
Alexander Jolivet coming across. And we see in lane 6, Michael McKenna make his way in as well.
Michael McKenna had one of the fastest 5K times listed. His 5K time is 18 minutes and 42 seconds, which is the fastest one here at the listed 5K time here at the South Regional. Shows what a difference that air assault runner makes.
And coming across in lane 15 is Johnny Bruce. Getting a look at Justin King there.
All right, athletes, we have just about 4 minutes remaining on that clock.
Here comes Neiman.
And Weston Neiman in lane 16. 45:03 for him.
This event is really taking its toll on a lot of these guys. And they're going to have to spend a lot of good time in recovery getting ready for the next event, event number 2.
That is Moran on the right. In the middle, it's McLemore, and on the left, it's King.
Final 3 athletes here in heat number 2.
Alexander Jolivet there coming over to encourage King, a fellow Masters competitor from 2017. And we see McLemore make his way off the runner and across the line.
As Tucker crosses that finish line.
3 minutes to go.
Cap is 49 minutes. So they've each got under 3 minutes. King on the left, and it's Moran on the right. Moran on the right was 246th worldwide in the Open. He was 8th in the Southwest. 2017 in the Open, he was 268th worldwide.
And hey, take your hat off to Justin King from Sling and Iron CrossFit. He's a Masters competitor, one of the older athletes here at this competition.
And I know you'll like Moran, Justin, because he was a D1 wrestler at Sacred Heart.
That's right. Got that wrestling background and knows how to stay in the suck and deal with the pain.
So you can see King there picking up the pace. And he'll come across. And I'm curious if he had a hamstring or something, because he did not look comfortable getting off of there. Not at all. So he'll come across at 47:20.
We only had one athlete not finish this event under the time cap in heat number 1. I'm hoping that, there, it looks like all of the athletes will finish this event in heat number 2 under the time cap.
So the former D1 wrestler gets in under the cap. So heat number 2, a very impressive performance. And there is Matt Morton, our winner. In the middle there, putting on a shirt. 39:38:72, and again takes the heat and event number 1 here at the 2018 South Regional. Flexing the same guns he was during the run.
Yeah, he did that a few times during the run. He's having fun. He's nice and relaxed.